Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. In this presentation, we'll try to understand the basic concept of mechanism of breathing. Throughout my presentation, I will discuss about the mechanism of inspiration. You will be able to answer the role of diaphragm and ribcage during inspiration, and you will be able to define the term inspiration. Before coming to the main topic of inspiration, just have a look on all these questions. Question number 1. Diaphragm contracts and become nearly flat during inspiration. Is it true or false? Question number 2. Label the red mark in the diagram. Question number 3. During inspiration, the rib cage is pushed outward and upward. Is it true or false? The next one is the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is dash. The concentration of oxygen in the atmosphere is dash. The air that we inspire is oxygen. Is it true or false? Label the red mark in this diagram. And the last question is, what is breathing? So, my dear students, at the end of the lecture, you will be able to answer all these questions. Let's start with the concept of breathing. What I just did is breathing. So simply we can say breathing is intake of fresh air in the form of oxygen and expelling out of foul air in the form of carbon dioxide as expiration. We can also call it inhale and exhale, right? So just have a look, a minute difference between these two terms, breathing and respiration. While breathing, what we do, we simply take in fresh air and expel out carbon dioxide. But during respiration, we take in fresh air, we expel out carbon dioxide, as well as there is release of energy during the process. This whole mechanism is termed as respiration. It's a diagram of rib cage. Let's write here. It's a rib cage. This rib cage consists of clavicle bone, and at the ventral side you will find sternum bone, and few ribs you will find which are associated with these ribs. These are ribs. At the posterior end of this rib cage, you will find a sheet of muscle which is called as diaphragm. It's a diaphragm. And at the lateral side of this rib cage, you will find again these all are ribs. And at the dorsal side, you will find backbone, and this backbone can also be called vertebral column. So if you look at the whole setup of this rib cage, at the anterior end you will see neck as well as clavicle bone. At the ventral side you will see sternum bone as well as ribs. At the lateral region again ribs are present on both the sides. At the dorsal portion there is vertebral column, which can also be called backbone, as well as ribs are there. So inside the rib cage our lungs are present. Just have a look on this system. diagram of respiratory system. Here we have nose, and the cavity inside of the nose is called nasal cavity. It's a mouth. This is mouth. And cavity inside of the mouth is called buccal cavity, or we can also say it mouth cavity. Nasal cavity and buccal cavity terminates at a point, and that point is called pharynx. Now this pharynx gives rise to two different passages. The ventral passage terminates into the lungs, whereas dorsal passage will terminate into the stomach. So let's understand that how the mechanism of breathing takes place. Let's understand the concept of inspiration. As you know that at the anterior end of our body we have neck, and here you will find clavicle bone. At the ventral side you have sternum bone, and few ribs are associated with this sternum bone. And at the posterior end again you will find here a seat of muscle which is called a diaphragm. Now let's understand that what happened during inspiration. While inspiration, rib cage is pushed outward and upward. At the same time, diaphragm contracts and becomes nearly flat. Means diaphragm will shift down, it will descend down, and it appears like this. So it relaxes, it basically contracts and becomes nearly flat. Due to shifting of this rib cage and diaphragm, space inside the rib cage will automatically increase. Space will increase, and due to increase in space of the rib cage, air pressure inside the lungs will increase or decrease. What do you say? Yes? Yes, definitely it will decrease. Air pressure will decrease, and due to decrease in air pressure, air from the environment will enter towards our lungs, and the concentration of oxygen in that air is 20.84%, and concentration of carbon dioxide in that air is 0.04%. So now I will give you a simple trick to remember these all things. We can say that बार बार आती है हवा देने वो जीवन सबको और पुश करती बाहर ऊपर धीरे धीरे रिबकेज को. डायफ्राम भी उससे होता प्रभावित और सिकुड़ता होता फ्लैट. किया एयर प्रेशर डिक्रीज लंग का, किया एयर प्रेशर डिक्रीज लंग का, खुद को वो करके नीचे सेट, और इससे हुआ आगमन हवाओं का लंग्स की ओर. उन हवाओं में O2 concentration is 20.84 and CO2 concentration is 0.04. यह घटना घटती है हर पल, प्रतिदिन, प्रतिक्षण, प्रतिपल. Now I think you will be able to answer all these questions. So you can see how our lungs get filled, and this is what we call inhalation. Now you can see in this animated character that how inhalation takes place. Look at this question. Diaphragm contracts and becomes nearly flat during inspiration. Is it true or false? What do you say? Yes? It's true. Question number 2. Label the red mark in the diagram. This is sternum. During inspiration, the rib cage is pushed outward and upward. Is it true or false? It's true. The concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is, what do you say? Yes, it's 0.04%. Next one is the concentration of oxygen in the atmosphere is 20.84%. Next question is, the air that we inspire is oxygen. Is it true or false? It's false. Label the red mark in the diagram. It's diaphragm. And the last question, but not the least, what is breathing? It's a very easy one. The process of taking air into and expelling it from the lungs. So that's all about this lecture. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening.